back here so it gets my big head in there.
Okay.
Well,
There you are. In the
I
big
think
city.
we're live. Now we just need to make sure people can
Hey,
hear us.
Pensacola.
Oh, so they can hear us.
I don't know. Hello, Teresa.
Teresa, can you hear us?
Hi, Nancy and Rich.
Well, hi, Nancy and Rich.
Greetings from the bank of the Arkansas River. Greetings. Hi, Arthur. Teresa says, yes, I'm here.
Arkansas River. Who said that?
Nancy, I don't know. It's
You
the
don't know?
Justice Center. I have no idea. Nancy Jenkins says she can hear you and see you.
Well, good.
Hi, David. Hi, Sam. Hi, Ron. Hi, Nancy.
Wow. How does the picture look? Now, it's not going to be like, because we're not using a GoPro, we're using my phone. And again, let me mention that, you know, using my phone on the screen side, so that camera is not as good as the camera on the other. But I've got to be able to make sure, you know, that at least Deb is in the picture.
Deb don't need to be in the picture.
Well, I'm sure, well, never mind. But, you know, we can kill some lights.
So how is everyone?
Yeah, how is everyone? I guess we should ask that.
Yes.
Yes, we should ask that.
Because he'll go on and on and on about video quality and sound.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
What's your point?
everybody says you're fine.
Well, okay, fine.
Slightly whitewashed with the white walls.
Well, okay.
Well,
All right, and I am wearing a light colored shirt, and Deb's
if
kind
I
of wearing...
turn on this light, you're going to be more whitewashed.
Yeah, the only thing I know to do would maybe to kill the lights behind us here. I could try that and see, you know, or kill some of them back there.
And it makes that look dark. But go ahead.
Well, let's see what that does. Now, we do have... Well, here,
Mine is frog hair.
Okay. I'm going to try, experiment something. Hang on here. Let's try this here. See what that did. That might have taken too much out. I don't know. Is that better? Well, I think the colors show up better. At least in my phone.
And everybody else says, Diana says it looks good to her.
Okay.
We've had company this week.
Yeah, we have. Which has been awesome.
Which has been awesome.
Absolutely. We love having company and people to visit with and stuff.
Are you going to say their name? Diana and Tommy came to visit us. Bill doesn't remember.
I do too. I do too. I just didn't know if Diane and Tommy wanted me to say Diane
I
and
didn't
Tommy.
say where we were. I just
Oh,
said they came to visit.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, they live nearby, so they came to stay a couple of days at the campground that we are presently at.
That's right.
How's that?
That works too.
And if you all remember, how did the caption go on her video? She built this all by herself or something like this. Oh, yeah. Diana built it herself. The trailer that Diana built, something like that.
Yes.
Anyway, it's one of our more popular videos out there. Yeah.
And her and Tommy came out to visit.
Yeah.
And,
we love visiting with them. And
in fact, I think they're fixing us dinner after the show.
Yeah. Well, I think they're fixing a steak.
Well, it doesn't matter. Whatever it is, it'll be good. Cracker and a cup of tea.
I like mine just medium.
You know, listen. Anyway. Someone says, sorry you had to clean up someone else's trash.
Oh, well. Yeah, well, you know, and we see that a lot, and we've just kind of been just blowing it off, you know, when we see it. But
well, we haven't video on it. We haven't been blowing it off.
Well, no. We just simply haven't videoed out. It still irritates us. But,
yeah.
And of course, when we were park attendants, we saw stuff like that.
Well, thank you for noticing, Terry.
What? Your hair?
My hair.
Noticed it was cut?
Mm-hmm.
Guess who cut it?
Yes, go ahead, yes.
Scared me to death, too. She comes walking around there, and before she's ready to get in the shower, she says, I want you to cut a couple of inches off of my hair.
I said make it straight, because I'd been cutting it. It was no longer straight.
Well, yeah.
And Bill says, ah!
So I started off, and first I started off taking like a couple of inches, but I didn't get it straight. So then I had to sit back and look at it again, and and then come across there. But I got it, I think.
You did a
I
good
did.
job.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I think it looks good.
This person, Alduri, would
Uh-huh.
like to hear about cooking in the kitchen with the RV life. We make all our meals from scratch. Is that compatible?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I mean, in my opinion, one of the most important things is food prep area. We had some in the red trailer. We have a whole bunch more, and especially since Bill put this counter in here, I have all
Which
kinds.
they can't see that right
no,
now, but we
but
got.
I have all
Yeah.
kinds of food prep
Mhm.
area.
Yeah.
I have my toaster oven so that I can bake cakes. In fact, I baked a cake last night.
Yeah.
For company, I made pasta Alfredo, and I made the sauce from scratch. I did not make my own pasta, but then I never did.
Well, yeah, but boy, that sauce was primo.
So, and we've had other meals. My favorite thing to cook with is the crock pot, because my favorite thing to do is put everything in the crock pot, whatever meal we're having, let it cook all day. We go out and do whatever we want to do, whether it's just sitting outside, kayaking, bicycling, visiting with friends, going to see doctors, whatever.
Yeah.
When we get home, the food's ready.
Yeah.
So that's my fave.
We have a funny story to tell you about that. When we were first building the red trailer, we've been full timing now for 4 years, but the current trailer that we're in right now, for some of you that are new followers and aren't familiar with the first trailer we had, our first trailer was a 7x16, and we built it on our driveway with the intention, and we were leasing our house at that time, and with the intention of when the lease was up, we were gonna we timed everything so when the lease was up, we were gonna hook onto the trailer and head out. Period. And
That was now going to be our home.
Yeah, and this was March the 1st, 4 years ago, March the 1st. Well, our daughter wouldn't hear of it. She just would not stand for the fact that her mom and dad was going to head out and be full timing in this 7x16 trailer. And of course, what she kept thinking about, she said, "How are you going to eat healthy?" That was one of her biggest questions.
That was her biggest question.
Because when she thinks about going to the lake, going to one of the campgrounds, stuff like that, guess what they eat? They eat nothing but junk food the whole time. I mean,
you might grill hamburgers
Yeah,
and hot
yeah.
dogs and,
But,
of course, snack cakes,
chips
potato
and snacks
chips.
and all kinds of stuff like that. So she assumed that we were going to be eating unhealthy, camping type food, or that kind of thing. So what Deb did, we would invite them over to the house last few weeks before we were ready to leave. Deb invited them over to the house, and she cooked full course meals using nothing but the appliances that ended up in the trailer. And we still have these appliances today, these same appliances. But that's what she did. She
No, we
used.
don't.
Oh, I'm sorry.
These are all new. These are red.
Oh
for this
yeah, that's
trailer.
right. We got these to match this trailer, but we had the same kind of appliances.
Yes.
All right, forgive my.
Well, actually, I didn't even have a microwave in the red trailer.
Okay, that's right. You didn't have a
No,
microwave
I did
in a
not.
trailer.
I had a toaster oven, a smaller one.
Mm-hmm.
I had a smaller refrigerator. I think it was a 4.
Well, honey, it's been 4 years since we started, so I'm sorry.
I just
Sorry.
didn't want somebody else saying that you got it wrong.
I understand.
It was 4 cubic feet. When we decided to build this
She's
trailer,
always correcting me.
I wanted a bigger refrigerator. I still have to play Tetris.
Well, yeah.
Tetris is
Yeah.
my favorite game, evidently.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I go to the grocery store and I bring it all home, I have to figure out what nook and cranny and everything can go in.
Yeah, but like I said, she actually cooked full course meals for our daughter and son-in-law to show that we weren't going to be eating junk food while we were
We
living
still
full time.
eat grilled hamburgers and hot
Oh
dogs.
yeah, well, I don't consider grilled hamburgers junk food, myself, and we don't eat hot dogs as much as we used to. Hot dogs are something that we do now and then because it's fun if we're around a campfire, to go ahead and do a hot dog
Right.
over a campfire.
Yes, and cooking over a campfire. I don't have the proper pans to do that. I
Yeah.
don't have any cast iron or anything like that because most of my cooking's done inside. And I started out cooking outside a lot, but my issue was I don't like fighting every time I'd take the lid off, I'd have to fight flies. And I don't
Right.
share my food with flies.
Yeah. Who likes doing that?
Hi
Anyway,
Paige, hi Gary, hi Nancy again. Hi Roxanne.
but we have a 10-foot cubic inch, 10 foot, a 10,
Are you okay? Drink some more coffee.
10. That's probably my problem.
Mm.
We have a 10 cubic foot refrigerator. And Marvin and Mary had a 7.5, but they couldn't stand it because we got a 10. So then they went out and got a 10.1. Just in case you're listening, Marvin
Silly,
and Mary.
silly.
It's kind of a little
competition.
contest that me and Marvin's got going on. But
Hello
anyway,
from Indiana. Hi Jerry. Hi. Okay, Carmen. Yes, the cauldron would work. We've got lots of friends that do that. Cook big pots of
Oh,
something
yeah.
out over the fire.
yeah, first person I think of is Todd.
Todd likes to do his jambalaya
Yes.
and gumbo over
Yeah,
the fire.
he does jambalaya and gumbo.
Marvin did potato soup over a cauldron.
Yeah.
So you know,
Oh, yeah.
we're not against that kind of thing.
In reality, quite honestly, we are probably eating too good.
Well, I know we're eating too good.
However, here recently, we have been trying to be more cognizant of that fact. And of course, now we've started riding bikes, and you're going to see some videos along the way, of us going out on bike rides and discovering new bike trails and stuff like that. But our goal is to become more and more active and start dropping the pounds. I got a little I'm always been heavier than I like, but I got a little heavier than I like. And it's everybody's fault at the last rendezvous is what it is. I'm gonna blame, let's see, Mike and, okay, I better not go there.
It's nobody's fault.
Well,
Nobody held you down.
That upside down German chocolate cake sure didn't help.
That's why she tried to give it to other people first.
Huh?
That's why she tried to serve other people
That's
first.
true. But I have lost 2 or 3 pounds here in the last week or so.
Yeah. Anyway.
So, hey.
That's how we cook inside. For breakfast, I have a griddle. If we decide we want full-blown bacon, eggs, I put biscuits in the oven. In fact, we had sausage biscuits this morning. I had biscuits in the oven. And so, yes, it is very possible. You just have to plan out what you need to make said meals.
Right.
And how you store. I don't know if you saw, but I love my Revishelves because I can store a lot of stuff in there.
Which means there's more weight involved.
They'll hold 100 pounds per shelf.
Yeah.
Back off.
The van really appreciates the leveling hitch, the load leveler hitch. That. Weight distribution hitch, that's the proper terminology. What else we got going on there?
We were just discussing food.
Yeah.
Hi, Nancy from Southern Illinois. Hi, Trent from Trent and Kim in Amarillo.
Now, hey, how y'all doing over there in Amarillo?
All Dairy wants to know if my frozen stuff stays frozen.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I could walk over there and pull something out and show you how frozen it is. Ice cream stays frozen.
Yep.
I don't have a problem with this particular refrigerator. It's just a Gallant. It's a regular household refrigerator.
Yeah, got it from Home Depot.
And it, in fact, at the last campground, somebody brought ice cream and they said, "Do you have room in your freezer for this until we decide to eat it?" And I said, "Let me rearrange."
Yeah.
But it was hard. When we took it out, she says, "This is too." I said, "You're going to let it just sit there a minute."
Yeah, our refrigerator is a regular household type fridge, is what it is. And it draws very little power. And here's something else that we mention this from time to time, but a lot of people don't realize that. We talk to a lot of people that when they built their cargo conversions, they went with a regular residential style fridge like we did, but they're really, really concerned about when they're traveling, to make sure that fridge is still running while they're going down the road. We don't.
We don't have to worry about it.
No, we don't keep the fridge going down the road, although we could by, flipping on the inverter.
We made it where we could.
Yeah, but we don't.
It's not necessary.
And the longest run we've ever made where it was unplugged was right at 6 hours.
I was going to say 6.
Everything in the freezer
The
was still
ice cubes
frozen.
were still frozen.
Yeah.
The meat,
Yeah.
everything in there was still frozen
Yeah.
solid. Because I don't know, we lived in a house that every time we turned around, the electricity went
Yeah.
off because of, you
It was
know.
because of Carroll Electric. But
Anyway,
oops, did I say that?
yes, you did.
Oops.
So we learned if you don't open the fridge or the freezer, just leave it shut. Everything
Mhm.
stays cool for a long time.
Mhm.
And so we kind of use that same theory
Mhm.
when we're bouncing down the road.
Yeah.
Someone wanted to know if we weighed ourselves. Yes,
Oh yeah. You mean ourselves, our bodies,
our
ourselves?
bodies that
Oh,
will
yeah.
help us maintain.
Yeah.
Well, the scales broke,
Well, and that how convenient.
and I got a new set of scales. And then today I started a program with my doctor that he gave me a set of scales, and every time I get on it, he gets a report of how much weight I've gained
I
or
don't
lost.
know if that's a good thing.
And I
or
got a
not.
text that said, "You weigh such and such,"
Mm-hmm.
and it also does my blood sugar the same way. It's a program to help me. Blah blah blah.
Yeah. Yeah. They offered it to me, and I decided no, I don't need another mother. And- but and we are Total Electric. A lot of I'm sure there's a few that don't realize
Hi Jim,
that
how
too.
are you?
But
Yes, Paige, our cakes were good, weren't they? My cookies not so much, but the cakes were good.
oh, I thought your cookies were good. They just didn't stay together.
Yeah, there's something.
But I didn't care about
something
that.
I'm doing wrong, but we'll figure that out.
But because we are Total Electric, electric hot water, electric water heater, and everything. When we're running on the inverter, we do have to think about those things. Now we can cook with a toaster oven when we're on the inverter, but man, a toaster oven is a huge power hog. Actually, you do better with the microwave. Now, the microwave is a power hog, but it's a power hog for this length of time, and the toaster oven is a power hog for that length of time.
Yeah, I could be plugged in more or less to
Right.
the toaster.
Uh-huh.
Wow. I'm just getting all kinds of compliments tonight. Thank you,
Oh, really?
Secret Locket.
About what?
She likes my eye makeup, and I look
Really?
so pretty. It's the new haircut.
I tell her that stuff every day, and it just goes, yeah, well, and you know what she tells me? She says, you're going blind.
His eyesight's failing.
Just by eyesight.
Hi, Selma. Hi, Nancy. We've missed you guys, too.
Yes.
We're not that far away, between
Nancy.
us, Nancy and Butch.
Oh, yeah.
Not that far away.
We
from
sure
right
have been
now.
missing you guys. We hope
Yeah.
you're able. Well, I don't know. I haven't heard if you're able to come to Alabama or not to the next rendezvous. I don't know
I
if
think
you.
I've heard from them.
Yeah.
I know they're busy building their cabin.
This is true. This is true. Yeah,
So.
but that's all the way down into October. Nancy and Butch. But and speaking of the rendezvous, we'll just briefly mention that there are still some sites left. However, we have been getting a lot of messages from a lot of folks saying that they got site so and so and so on and so forth.
And if you haven't
And-
told me, please do so, because I'm trying
Right.
to keep a tally in my head and for people that
Right.
say how many should we be planning for and that type of thing.
And based on the amount that have messaged us either by email or through our fan page on Facebook, based on the ones that we have tallied so far, if you figure 2 people per site, this is going to by far be the biggest one we've had yet. We're expecting right now somewhere around 120 to 130 folks, and it could be more than that. So, but there are a few sites left there. We have been noticing.
Yeah,
We check it periodically. Just
there's
to see.
still
you know.
several. Of course, it had several sites.
Oh
available
yeah, it's
to
a big
begin with.
campground.
So,
It's a huge campground.
Huckleberry Chris, he's in Des Moines, Iowa, then heading for the Ozarks. We'll be here a
Well,
little bit.
we're going to be here in this area for about 5 more weeks. Is that right?
I believe so.
Yeah. Okay.
But
We got, I still got to get with my doctor and have my
Yeah.
routine doctor
I've got
visits
2
and
more
stuff like
doctor's
that.
visits myself.
A couple things I want to do with the trailer while we're here.
Yeah.
And just little odds and end things.
I will say that our flooring was the snap lock
Yeah.
flooring, the click and lock,
Mm.
which works great in homes.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess from bouncing down the road,
Yeah. Well, that's all we can figure.
I mean, that's all I can figure because
Mhm.
I
'Cause
know who installed it, and
well, when we put it down, it was all
was
the
all
joints were
tight.
super, super tight. You know, you couldn't even hardly find the joints, or I mean, everything was really tight. We got it really, really good and tight. And yes, for those that are familiar, I did leave the gap around the
Yeah.
edges of the room, you
but
know,
it's
for
still,
expansion and
and that's all we
contraction.
can figure is the bouncing down the road.
Yeah, but you know,
So.
slowly the joints were they clicked together. Some of them now and then would pop loose, and we'd snap them back together. But anyway, it just become more of a problem, so we ended up going ahead and pulling it all
Nancy's
up.
behind. She doesn't know when your next rendezvous is.
Do what now?
Nancy
She's what now?
behind.
Nancy.
Pickinsville, Alabama, at the Pickinsville campground, which is a Corps of Engineer campground. October 16th through October 20th. Everyone departing on the 20th because it's a Friday.
Yeah, it's going to be a 4-day event.
Right.
Pickinsville, Alabama.
Yes, Paige, that is the plan. While we're in Arkansas, he's got everything he needs to plumb my bathroom
Oh,
sink.
how many times am I going to have to hear that?
Until it's done.
I swear. Yeah, we're going to, yeah. The
Why do the commercial RVs I'm looking at have such tiny kitchens? Because they don't expect you to live in it. They don't expect you to do any more than be in it on the weekends, 4 or 5 times a year.
Yeah, pretty much.
And
they have little bitty sinks.
And they
too.
think you're going to have a grill outside and all of your cooking's going to be done outside, and they give you this little bitty sink to clean up in because you're not going to really be washing dishes. You're going to be paper plates and throwing them in the trash. That's what they think you're going to do.
Yeah.
But when you live full time, paper plates aren't always.
Yeah.
Well, we don't like paper plates.
Well, no, we don't.
Well, I see the benefit when you've got a whole group.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because we
But-
sure use a lot more water when we're
Yes.
washing all the
Well,
dishes,
washing the
don't
dishes.
we? Well,
But
I use the term "we" rather loosely there.
Yes.
I need to clarify that and admit that I'm lacking in that department. But I do other things to make up for that, right? I do other things to make up for that,
I'm
right?
thinking,
I'm-
put me on the spur. I don't like that. Expect me to pop off an answer just like that?
I knew that was coming.
Let me think here a minute. I pulled up the floor. I put the Revishells in.
I was editing a video while you were pulling up the floor, and I at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I still wasn't done editing the video, and it was going to go up at 6:30 that
It's
evening.
okay. I was bored.
Well, there you go.
And it came up real easy. So.
Yeah.
So what are we going to do to our floor now that we've done this? We're going to borrow a page from Todd and Kim.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to attempt, because I didn't have as much paint splattered on the floor as I thought I would. So I am going to sand this plywood, the original plywood that was on the floor, and I am going to try staining it
Mm-hmm.
and polyacrylicing it,
Mm-hmm.
several coats.
Mm-hmm.
Can't do that till we get to Indiana because we're going to be hauling a few things in the trailer that once we get to
Yeah.
Indiana and get some other things done, we won't be handling.
Well, we'll be hauling the e-bikes in the trailer here up front.
Hi, Robert from Ohio.
Well, hey, Robert.
Nancy says you're giving excuses.
Nancy, what?
Nancy Jenkins says you're just giving excuses.
Well, Nancy. I want to know what Rich thinks. Well, I know, Rich, if you're sitting there beside her, you wouldn't dare.
Rich
know.
thinks it's been 2 years that we've been washing our hands at the kitchen sink
Or in the shower.
or in the shower.
Or at the shower. But hey,
Yeah.
man,
See, every
Everybody-
time you open your mouth, this becomes.
when you try to get 2 or 3 videos up a week and you have to do all the shooting and the editing and all that stuff, and
Y'all know what that is, right?
oh, world's smallest violin. You're so funny.
We are funnier than George Burns and Gracie Allen.
It's only on camera, folks. No, most of the time,
Most of the time, Bill's pretty good.
most of the time you have a sense of humor.
Most of the time, Bill does as I ask. You know, I have to ask him twice.
She always has a sense of humor on camera, but okay. I don't want to get in any deeper trouble than I'm already at.
I'm looking to see if we have any more questions. How many watt hours is your battery bank? There's a good question.
All right, I'll tell you in amp hours. I'd have to do the calculations in watt hours. Our battery bank is, of course, we made our own battery out of 8 individual cells, which makes it a 24 volt battery. They're wired in series. At 24 volts, it's 270 amp hours at 24 volts. Now keep in mind, watts is watts is watts. And watts is when you multiply volts times amps. Okay, so that would equal, if you were comparing to 12 volt batteries, that would come out to 570 amp hours if you were using a 12 volt system over a 24 volt system, because in the end, when you multiply amps times volts, watts is watts is watts, and the watts would be the same at the end. It works really, really well. If I was going to go completely, totally off grid for extended periods of time, I will be the first to admit that I would look at going with double the battery bank or even triple the battery bank that I have. And I would also go to doubling or tripling or more the panels, the solar. The thing about solar panels, when they're stationary on top of your rig, when they are flat on the roof, the only time you're getting as much power as possible out of them is when the sun is directly overhead and shooting straight down on top of them. And in real life, that just simply doesn't happen all the time. That's why a lot of folks, when they put panels on the roof, they do what we call over paneling. We only have 4 panels on the roof, 4 200-watt panels. And theoretically, we should be able to make 800 watts. Well, the closest we've got in peak wattage has been almost 700 watts with those panels that's on top. But it's for a brief time when we just happen to be in that perfect setting where the sun is perfectly oriented with the panels, or the panels are perfectly oriented with the sun,
But
I should say.
the way the battery bank we have now,
Uh-huh.
and that we're totally electric. We have a mini split, we have the fridge.
If we're careful, we can make it 2 days.
We have the water heater. I do not use the microwave.
Right.
I do not use the toaster oven.
During those times.
I do use the coffee pot because that's one of our priorities.
Yep. And we do use the water heater briefly.
Yes.
Yeah. And we use the mini split.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And we can do that without, if it's a sunny day, we can usually keep up with it pretty much.
Yeah.
By being very, very careful.
Yeah.
If it's not a sunny day, we have to fire up our small generator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the way we use our generator is different than most. We just have a 2,000 watt generator, and I have a separate power inlet coming into the trailer, and all I got to do is unplug from one receptacle with my battery charger, unplug from one receptacle into another receptacle, which that extra power inlet comes straight into that particular receptacle. So then by doing that, all my generator is doing is powering my battery charger, and that's it. And the battery charger, along with the panels that we have, helps keep us going,
Right.
And we can start out of a morning, at around 60%. If we've got decent sun, we'll fire up the generator to augment with the panels, and by 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we're back up to a full charge. Then we can kill the generator and we can make it overnight with no problem, depending on how much we have to use the mini split, whether we need to use it to cool us or heat us. Of course, if we have nights where we don't need either, and we just use the max air fan, then that's a bonus. That's a plus.
Well, Paige wants to know if there's any chance of a concert with Melinda while we're here. And I'm going to say, Paige, if you come visit, we might see what we can get Bill and Melinda to do.
We'll figure something out. Yeah.
I don't know that it would be on video, but because they haven't practiced.
Well, Melinda's very busy. She's a teacher now, and and of course the school year is almost over.
3 more weeks.
Yeah, and we do need to get together and practice when we're going to do stuff together. Old Dad just can't pick up the guitar and start playing anything she wants to sing. I got to work on it too. So the biggest issue is, of getting us together so we can practice, and spend some meaningful time practicing. so we don't sound like we're practicing
in front of people.
in front of people.
Fireball would be good tonight,
It
but
would,
we
but
drank it all the other night.
she drank it all.
I believe you matched me.
I really. Well, anyway, it's gone.
And he didn't stop coming back
No.
tonight.
And since we're back here in Arkansas for a while, you know, our favorite wine is available here and only in Arkansas for the most part, and post Concord. And so far, we've been able to get one bottle. And that's it.
John Klinzik wants to know if we've looked into Starlink, and yes, we have.
Yeah.
We are very, very pleased so far with our T-Mobile home internet.
Mhm.
We just got to figure out which window to put it in, depending on where the tower is.
Right.
So far, since we bought this into January,
Mm-hmm.
every campground we have been at, we've had some of an excellent service inside, and I'm talking inside.
Mhm.
Some of them has been like one campground we went to.
Only
was-
one campground so far. We could still stream, but we had buffering there. But every other place we've
Love
been.
you, Diana. Diana's
since-
got line waiting for me.
Yeah. Okay. Oh. All right.
Bye, y'all.
We'll wrap this up pretty quick. No.
No.
But let's talk about that a little bit more. Starlink, I did check into it. To get set up initially, it's going to run us about $750. And then, of course, depending on where you are, will determine how well it works or not. Now, we know of some YouTubers that a lot of folks have the idea that Starlink is going to work great no matter where you are, and it's just not true. You know,
Well, see right here, we're
It's-
surrounded by trees.
right.
We got trees
For
everywhere.
instance, a major, and we used to follow them all the time. Their initials are KYD, and they release a video every Sunday. Well, they had to post on the community page. They had to post saying that the video was going to be late that night because Starlink was slow that night, you know, to get them uploaded. We've talked to other people that have real good success, and then other times, you know, depending on where they are, not so much. Well, it costs $750 to get set up with it from the latest figures that I got. And then I believe for nomads like us, I believe the monthly fee is like $135. What we ended up trying first, and it's because of Paige and Wayne, they told us about it and they just love theirs. And we've been with T-Mobile for years. We ended up getting one of those $50 a month 5G home internet services. And for $50 a month, it's 5G. There's no throttling, no nothing, you know. So far, like Deb said, and we picked it up down in Florida, everywhere we've been, except for one spot, we've been able to do pretty much anything we want to do. In fact, we're going live right now on our T-Mobile
'Cause it's
internet
sitting in that
service.
window right there.
It's sitting in the window right over there. And our upload speeds are fabulous. And
John Duke says, didn't you say you could add an external antenna?
yeah, you can. There are YouTube videos out there about how to do it. Actually, internally on these things, there's like 4 different connections inside. And just for the life of me, I can't figure out why they didn't go ahead and make exterior ports on the outside of the chassis,
Had the device.
so you could just simply plug in external antennas. There's one particular brand that is recommended, but you can go in and just simply type in the internet, you know, best antenna for T-Mobile 5G internet, and they'll tell you what it was. But there's a 2 receiver type antenna and a 4 receiver type antenna, but you actually have to take it apart. You have to take the outside cover off and go inside internally. And once you go inside internally, based on what I've seen on these YouTube videos, they have ports that you just simply plug into, but you got to do it inside there. Go figure.
So we have not
So-
attempted that yet. Jack, as far as tarps go, would you email us at iridetinyhouse@gmail.com and we will discuss it. We are thinking about how we will handle such a huge crowd. Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, this is going to be the largest
Where
crowd
are we
yet.
gathering this year? It will be at Pickensville, Alabama, at the Pickensville Campground,
Mhm.
October 16th through October 20th. That's a Monday Everyone, come in on Monday. We'll try to have some scheduled events each evening.
Mm-hmm.
Friday, everybody leaves because that's when the weekend crowd will come in.
Right. Pickinsville, Alabama campground is a beautiful campground, and when we will tell you this, that while you're headed there, you're not gonna. I mean, it's okay, but you're gonna be driving along and saying, "How in the world did Bill and Deb come up with this?" Because when you're driving along,
Google.
because you won't see what you see once you get to the campground. But once you turn down that road and you start pulling into the campground, it's like this beautiful oasis, And a lot of our friends met us there a while back, and they had exactly the same response that we've had. We've been there 3 times, I think.
I think so.
Yeah. And we love it there. It's just absolutely beautiful. It's right on the Tennessee Tom Bigby Waterway, which is a man-made waterway that eventually ends up at the Alabama River, I think. But it takes you down to Mobile Bay, But there's a large contingent of barge traffic that runs up and down it. And it's not a very wide river. It's about the width of a 4-lane highway, And so you'll see these big, giant, huge barges going up and down. And some people that see barges all the time that live near the Mississippi River, it's no big deal to them. But boy, to someone like us, I mean, it's just really cool because, they're just right there in your face, right there. And then periodically, depending on the time of the year, you will see large yachts either heading back north or heading south, which is cool as well to see all this stuff going on.
Okay, we have 117 on.
Fantastic.
Someone said they hadn't actually watched us lately. They didn't know we built a new trailer.
Oh.
We are not done, but yes.
Yeah, we're getting
almost
real close.
Ready to do our own walkthrough.
Little trimming to do here and there, but we've been living and traveling and shooting videos while we've been, with the trailer. But I've got to do cabinet doors. I've got to do drawer fronts. I've got to do a little bit of trimming. I've got to plumb the bathroom sink still.
Yes.
But I'm having to do something a little special on that, which we'll go into when we do that because I will be doing a video about it.
But he does have everything he needs now to do it.
I have found everything I need. It was a little difficult to find everything, but I have
Patria,
found it.
I can do that. We can put a link at the end of this video where the rendezvous is, but you can also go to our website, which is iRideTinyHouseAdventures.com.
One word.
And if you'll look at the little drop-down boxes, you'll see the rendezvous, and there's an actual map there that shows you where it is. There's a map of the campground, and you go through recreation.gov, and you simply type in Pickinsville, Alabama, and that campground will pop up.
It's real easy
Yeah,
to get there.
it's not hard at all.
Yeah. But our website is iRideTinyHouseAdventures.com. iRideTinyHouseAdventures.com.
Well, we used to swim with water moccasins in Elk River, but the difference between Elk River in Missouri and the Tom Bigby is Elk River's crystal clear.
Yeah.
I can see them.
I don't know that I'd want to, people do, but I don't know that I personally would want to swim in the Tom Bigby
We'll
waterway.
have to see.
Now, I'm going to probably put my kayak in.
We might.
Yeah. Because there is like a little lakey area off to
Yes.
one side where you're not out in the middle of the boat traffic.
Right.
Yeah. And it's not really all that little, but it's pretty cool right there, and people, bass boats, you'll see, man, we got woke up one morning and we heard this noise outside going, zoom, zoom, zoom. And so we got up and looked, and there was a fishing tournament, and all these bass boats were going, choo, 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 and they were flying. I'm sorry, did I?
You get a little close.
Well, I get a little excited when I see, stuff like that going. But anyway, it's a cool area. And there is the museum documenting everything about the Tom Bigby Waterway is right next door. It's only like 3 miles away. And it's very, very interesting there.
Yes, we enjoyed that.
Yeah, it'll tell you the history of it, and what they went through to build it and everything. But it's pretty cool if you're into that sort of thing.
Okay.
What else? Anything else?
Don't know that we've got any other questions at the moment. Nancy, with where your home is home, I think you have Bill's information, or you have our email address, and we'll be happy to, or I think I've got yours. I'll be happy to send you that info.
Nancy?
Yeah.
Our Butch and Nancy?
Our Butch and
Our
Nancy.
Butch and Nancy?
Yeah.
Yeah. You've got my phone number, Nancy.
And I was pretty sure she did.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Anyway, yeah.
that
Text me.
what else is going on
Or
in our
text Deb.
lives? Today
Oh.
we went to doctors and we went to.
Well, you did.
Hi Kim, miss you guys.
Is
Can
that
you ride your e-bike to the museum from the campground?
You could.
Mm,
There's not a lot of cars on that road,
Not a lot
but
of
it's
traffic.
it's a 3 mile run, and you've got enough room to get over on the shoulder. Personally, ourselves, we don't like getting out on main roads on our bikes.
no, we did
Uh,
that Sunday. And
Yeah, we went riding last Sunday, and it wasn't really on a main road. It was on. We'll tell you the story right quick, and it was a little irritating. And I let the person in the car know just how much I appreciated him. We were on our e-bikes. Yes, I got mine. We'll be seeing a review of my e-bike. I absolutely love it, by the way. But we went to the Pea Ridge Military Park here in Northwest Arkansas, which is a historical place. And the drive around through the Pea Ridge Military Park.
it was a big battle during the Civil War,
Yeah.
and it's got markers.
Yeah, there's all kinds of markers and, all kinds
Cannons
of stuff,
out in the field.
cannons and stuff. So, yeah. But it's a nice ride. And the speed limit in the park, and it's a one-way road, and it's just wide enough for one vehicle, and that's it. And let me repeat this one thing again. The speed limit is 15 miles an hour. We were easily cruising at 14 miles an hour. Easily. This guy comes right up on us, and there's really not enough room to get over on the shoulder. He comes right up on us and lays on his horn.
Scared me.
Yeah,
Scared the crap
so-
out of me. We're gonna get mirrors.
So Deb said, "Oh, colorful metaphor."
Well, he scared me.
Yeah, because he's scared, and he scared her, and he made me upset. So we jump off the road right quick, and as he went by, I said like that, and I just stared him down as he drove by. Anyway, we've had things like that happen before. We prefer to ride on regular bike trails.
Dedicated bike trails.
Regular dedicated
Yeah.
bike trails. Unfortunately, here in Northwest Arkansas, there is literally
And they're starting to do that in other states.
miles and miles and miles and miles
we didn't
of
research it.
dedicated paved bike trails. You can literally ride from the Missouri state line all the way to the Bentonville Square on dedicated bike trails. And now what they're doing in this area, because it's becoming one large metropolitan area. You leave Bella Vista, you're immediately in Bentonville. You leave Bentonville, you're immediately Rogers. You leave Rogers, you're immediately in Lowell, so on and so forth, Springdale, Fayetteville. And one large metropolitan area. But eventually it's going to be to a point in this area where a young couple won't have to own a car. They will be able to ride their bikes to go shopping, to grocery shopping, go out to dinner, go to work, everything, because they're building these tributaries off of these main bike lanes all over the area. And it's really pretty cool in a way. What we've also discovered while we were down in Florida, and other states have this same kind of program going on. They call it the Rails to Trails program, where they're taking old railroad lines and paving them and turning them into bike trails.
And they go
you know.
through some beautiful
Oh,
countryside.
yeah. We rode a couple while we were in Florida.
Carmen, once you get your reservation made, if you could just email me your site number, your name, site number, then I'm keeping a list. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just for our benefit. It has nothing to do with
Yeah,
anything else.
just so we can kind of keep a tally.
Just so I know, have a rough idea.
Mhm.
Kim rode her bike through, she was at Lake Inn Campground. Some friends and her took their bikes and rode to downtown Morgan City.
Well, Kim's younger than us.
Yes, she said they had a lot of fun.
But that, I like getting out and riding fast. I mean, I can easily cruise 15 miles an hour, uphill, downhill, whatever. And it's just absolutely fabulous what we can do with these things. In fact, it's been really the story of my life. I spent all day that day chasing Deb on her bike. That's all I do is chase you all the time, right?
Sorry, don't know what to say. Is there Burger King Club. Oh, you'd have to go into Columbus.
I'm sure there is,
We
but
won't be.
we won't
joining
be
you.
going there.
But you go for it. Columbus isn't very far from where the rendezvous is.
Yeah,
going
Columbus
to
is
be.
a nice town. They have a Walmart
Columbus,
Supercenter.
Missouri. The campground is in Alabama, but we're right
No,
on the
no,
line.
Columbus, Mississippi. You said Columbus,
Oh, I'm
Missouri.
so sorry.
It's Columbus, Mississippi.
Mississippi.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. It's not very far away. I used to say 30 miles, and Wayne corrected me and says it's more like 17. Of course, Wayne was raised in that area, so. But Columbus has, all the stuff you'd need. It's got a Walmart Supercenter and a Walmart Supercenter.
I think it's got a couple other grocery
Oh,
stores.
yeah, it's got-
and it's got an AutoZone or an O'Reilly.
Oh yeah, it's got all your, your typical stuff that
your
a
stuff that you need.
city that size would have.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Nancy. Hope to see you in October.
Okay, awesome. Is that Nancy, our Nancy in Michigan,
No.
or Nancy in Arkansas?
This will be Nancy in
We
Arkansas.
have so many Nancys. Anything else? What do we?
Do you put a filter on the city water hose?
No, we don't. Let's talk about that for a little bit. Now we could get away with it more than other people, but what we use is a Berkey. Berkey, because our drinking water, we cook with the Berkey water. That's the only water we drink. We make our coffee. Everything is done with the Berkey filter system, and we really, really like it. The filters aren't cheap. They're about $109. Now and then you can catch them on sale, but they're like $160.
But they last us a full year.
Well,
of course, we use them.
Yeah, they do. Go ahead.
We use them every single
Yes.
day.
Yeah.
I mean, I run probably 3 gallons of water through that thing every single day. And it doesn't matter. I mean, we were in different campgrounds, so the water quality is different, depends upon where you go. And
Mhm.
of course, the Berkey filters, if you've got a lot of, one campground we go to has a lot of sulfur.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes all that out.
Yeah.
But that's in your
Which will
filters.
shorten the life of the filter.
Yeah, which will shorten that.
Right.
Um,
See, now most all these filters, years and years ago I worked for Culligan. Most all these filters, their main media inside them is activated carbon and charcoal. That is their main media, the filter media. And activated carbon and charcoal cannot be regenerated. It'll hold X amount of times its own weight, and once it's full, it's full. There's no, there's no backwashing it or anything like that. Once it's full, it's full. Okay. So when the filters, get full in the Berkey, then, we got to replace them. That's all there is to it. And when companies will say that they'll go through X amount of thousands of gallons of water or hundreds of gallons of water, well, that's a bit of a misnomer, quite honestly, because it all depends on how many contaminants are in the water you are filtering wherever you are. And when you travel like we do, that can be, you can be on one water system, which is relatively pretty clean, and be on another water system that has all kinds of contaminants in it. So it's filtering a whole lot more, which means it's going to chew up that filter media a whole lot faster. Now,
no, Alduri, it didn't. The shower water did not smell like sulfur, but we talked to the maintenance man because we would smell sulfur. They treated it
Yeah.
at the well
Mhm.
quite a bit.
Actually, what they would do, they would go bleed the air off of it periodically from time to time, which would help because they aerate it. They had an aeration system where they'd aerate the sulfur.
I knew
out
you
of it.
understood all that.
Oh yeah, I do.
No, Terry, I have not been painting lately, but the paintings that I have are on our website under the tab called Lib's Art.
Okay.
And thank you, Terry. Nice prize. Thank you.
Now, let's talk about these blue filters. And if you're using them all the time until they get used up, which here again, they're going to get used up, the same criteria applies depending on where you go, what kind of water you're filtering will determine how quick these things get used up. So you can't just simply say, well, I used X amount of gallons of water, so it's time to get a new one. You got to, and it's hard to determine, but you'll kind of know. But the other thing too, let's say if you buy one of these blue filters and you go camping for a week or whatever, then you go home and you set your trailer, you set your RV back, go ahead and take the blue filter off, put it in the cubby hole, wherever you keep it, and then it sets for 30 days before you take it back out again. Well, all that stuff, and see the filter media is still damp inside there, and all that stuff that it has collected, all the contaminants that is filtered out of the water, what's it going to do while it's sitting there dormant? Think about it. That's all I'm going to say. Think
Hi,
about
Lisa. Glad you made it. Hope you're feeling better. Jack Randall says you've been chasing Deb for a long time.
it.
Have you ever done any smart home stuff with your RV?
No,
Automations, plugs, etc.
not really.
Smart
No.
home. We have a keyless entry we're supposed to put on the door. Is that smart?
What they mean by smart home is things like, well, I don't know, yeah, but no, we haven't gotten involved in that.
We haven't done it.
We're not Elon.
No.
No.
We have a very functional,
Mm-hmm.
comfortable.
We could live in this the rest of our lives, which we
Yes,
probably will.
We probably will. But it's
You know.
it's got everything. What was that? I was telling someone yesterday, I think. What we have here is everything a house has.
Mhm.
Only it's
Just on a smaller scale.
You know, we
Yeah.
have our fridge, we have our toaster. I don't have a dishwasher, but I never used one in my house anyway because I
Yeah.
didn't. It never seemed to get dishes clean. But that's another story.
But
But we have everything we need.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, we have our shower, we have our good, comfortable bed, we have our TV. If we want to sit comfortably, not on these bar stools, we have our outdoor lawn chairs, which are very comfortable.
yeah, and we've even been known to bring them in. From
Yeah,
time
we
to
have.
time.
When the weather is like, we'll
And-
say, okay, bring our chairs in.
And the 4-foot counter that we have here, which you can't see on the camera, our 4-foot counter is made so it can fold down flat against the wall. And there was a time there that we were using a wicker couch that we would set in there. But quite honestly, we really didn't use it that much. It got to be more cumbersome, more trouble than what it was worth. So we're gifting that to one of our kids. And we're not going to mess with that
it
anymore
was too much
because it was
trouble.
just too
It was
much
too much
trouble.
hassle.
And we didn't really use it all that much.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Hi, Mike. How are you and Janet from Northern New York? Good to see you too.
Oh, wow.
Hope you guys are doing well.
Fantastic.
She said, Carmen says that Hugh has put all kinds of smart stuff in their trailer.
Well,
I'm hoping, I think we get to see them in
Yeah,
October.
you all are coming.
I think so.
I think so. Didn't you say you got a reservation there at the
Name
rendezvous?
sounded familiar,
I will be walking around with my camera in hand.
and we will have you
Yeah.
explain that.
Absolutely. But let's go back and talk about a little bit more about our setup the way we have. We need to clarify something. We have all the things that we had in a house that was important to us.
Well, yeah, I guess
Okay,
so.
yeah. Like, I don't like little dinky showers. And when we had the red trailer, of course, we had to go with a smaller smaller shower.
It was a 32.
It was a 32 by 32. Yeah, this one, Deb says it's 36 by 48. I think it's actually 32 by 48.
We're gonna get the tape measure. out.
Yeah, okay, fine.
It
Anyway.
doesn't matter. It's nice.
It's a 4-foot shower, okay? And we really enjoy it. Now, we also have our van set up, right, the campground that we're at right now. Let's just do it this way. The campground we're at right now does not have sewer. We used to think that it was almost impossible to find U.S. Army Corps of Engineer campgrounds that had sewer, but we have been learning that that's not necessarily the case.
Not necessarily the
There's
case.
actually quite a few out there, but this one does not. They have a dump station. Well, we're sitting here at this spot for 2 full weeks. So what we did, some of you already know what we do, but we set up a pump system where we actually have an auxiliary 40-gallon gray tank in the van. And we also have an auxiliary 40-gallon, actually 42, both of them, fresh water tank in the van. We have 2 tanks in the van. When it's time to dump our gray tank in the trailer here, and we're not on sewer, of course, then we have to run to the dump station. Well, rather than hook the trailer up and run up to the dump station and have to come back and set up again, I use a macerator pump. I hook it on to the standard RV style sewer dump that we have on the trailer, and we run a hose up to the tank in the van. I have a 12-volt power outlet right there where the pump hooks on. There's a 12-volt outlet I plug into right there. I throw a switch, and boom, I'm pumping the water up into the van, which it will pump this tank completely down in 8 minutes and 45 seconds. We've timed, and this is a 65-gallon tank. Of course, the tank we have in the van is only 42, so it takes a little over 6 minutes, okay, for that. So then what we do, we simply just drive up to the dump station. We've got it down to a science. We're at the dump station 5 minutes tops.
Maybe 5.
5 minutes tops. And we dump it. Now, if we happen to be at a site that does not have water at the site, then we will go to a common water faucet, not anywhere near the dump station, because they'll have other water faucets throughout the park that are common waters. You never want to use a water faucet that is close to the dump station, because we have seen people use those faucets that are marked for drinking water. We've actually seen them run a hose all the way up to that and backwash their black and gray tanks with that. So we don't do that. We don't go to that particular faucet. So then we run to a faucet, and we scout the campground out, of course. We figure out where they are so that we can make this run real quick. And then we'll fill up the freshwater tank in the van, back the van up to the trailer. I have a special water outlet on the side of the van. I plug into it, run it into the gravity feed on our freshwater tank. And I have another pump in the van. I throw a switch, and now it's pumping the water into the trailer. So we do that if we're going to be stationary for extended periods of time, which in this case we are, which also enables us, because we're pretty picky, we take a shower every single day. And we try to be conservative on water, but we, and we do better than we did at home, but we're not,
Evidently not.
we're not, as good as a lot of you out there.
A lot of people are really good at it.
Yeah, we're not that good. But we want to be able to live like we did in our house. So that's what we do.
So that's what we try to do.
Yeah.
To make us comfortable.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
We do appreciate y'all coming on board. It's 125 of you.
What time is it?
It is 7:23.
Wow. Well, we got about 7 more minutes before we decide to shut it down. Is there any more questions anybody's got right quick before we go? Man, time sure flies, doesn't it?
I love Lucy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We so appreciate your comments all the time. We really appreciate you. We appreciate all of you folks that watch our videos and comment with positive comments.
We like positive comments.
We still get a few now and then that have to be smart. What's that 3-letter word that goes after that? But not that many anymore. No.
Our child's outside. You let her in.
Yeah, she'll come in here in a minute. Anyway, are we done?
I think.
Well, double check.
Seems like
Make sure.
no one has. Someone says we give good advice. We try. We try to just tell you how we have done it and what works for us.
What was that again?
That we give good advice. Do you have a vacuum cleaner? No, I do not. I would like to have a little one, but everything I've researched, they don't work all that great. So I use a broom. I have a what's that thing we have out in the van?
Oh, it's a small shop vac.
Yeah.
It's the little one.
It's the little
And I
one.
toyed with the idea of trying to rig that up in a compartment under the bed and make it like a central vac system. And I could probably play with that some more and figure it out and make it work.
Yeah.
But have too many other things I have to think about.
And then, everything you find a spot for, something else has to,
Yeah.
we
yeah.
have to give
But
it
for the most part, a broom takes care of pretty much
the most
everything.
part.
in
I may
here.
get a Swiffer once I get my floors redone.
Yeah. These newfangled Swiffers they got now are pretty cool. They
All
look like that on TV anyway.
They look good on TV.
Yeah. But anyway, I guess that's it.
I guess so. We appreciate y'all joining us
Absolutely.
tonight, and be looking for Bill's video on his bike.
Yeah, it'll be
soon.
Yeah, sometime next week probably. Yeah, we'll get out there and get to filming on that and show you all about that. And if you're thinking about an e-bike, if you're considering it, be sure and watch the video. Especially if you're, around our generation. The e-bikes are the best thing going for, boy, I hate using that word, seniors. I don't like calling myself a senior. But there's the best thing going, you know, to get out there and get some
Uh,
exercise.
Kim, I don't do real good at filming. Why don't you come up and do it?
What's that?
She wants to know if I'm going to film you on your bike.
Oh, I've got some ideas how I can set up cameras on her bike, but you know, then I just got to get her to, you know, chase me instead of me chasing her. But we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it all
Oh
out.
yeah, I'll get it all figured out, one way or the other. Anyway, I guess we're gonna let you go. This is Bill and Deb with I Ride Tiny House Adventures. Repeat after me. Repeat after us. We're not camping. What? We are living. Y'all get out there and do some living. We'll see you again soon. And thank you
Bye.
so much for coming on board
Yeah.
tonight. We really enjoyed it. Bye-bye now.
Bye bye.